Machina? You mean machine people?
You look as if you have many questions. But please, take a look around our village first. We will talk after that. I will be waiting in front of the building we call Junks.
Welcome to the village of the Machina, the people of Mechonis. Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Xenoblade Chronicles. Last time, the group was reunited at the entrance of this mysterious village, and this time, at the request of Linata, we are going to be taking a look around said mysterious village. Now, before we move on, I want to switch Shulk into the lead, and I guess we'll have Fiora in there as well, because, you know, she's new and shiny, and actually she is made of metal, so she quite literally is new and shiny. Wow, for a second there, I was taking it a while. Not really sure why that was. I just kind of want my quick step gems, plus I think it kind of makes sense to have Shulk in the lead for this kind of thing. We have Shulk's right here as our first Machina. Sounds kind of like Shulk's awkward cousin, to be honest. If I could, I'd like to travel to a new world and start over again. This place already has more than enough shops. I would suggest Colony 6 to you, but I don't think they'd be too accepting of someone from Mechonis. We have Rizaka here. These are all really cool names, I have to say. There's something wrong with my friend's son. He's just stopped growing. No one knows the cause. Everyone in the village is so worried. Alright, so we'll have to remember that for later, just because it sounds like somebody that we could meet. We have a generic Machina villager here, and the structure of the Machina is very different to your own. We don't need the energy of other life to maintain our functions. All we need is a little water and ether. Again, sucks to be a Homs because everyone else is so much cooler and, you know, these don't even need food or anything like that, just water and ether. And in fact, if we go to our affinity chart, remember Shulk's from about 23 seconds ago? Well, age 4,894 years old. Yeah! Again, everything but the Homs lives to be like 1,000 in this world. I know, it's just... I guess to be fair, that is kind of how humans typically are in any kind of fantasy, though, but you know what I mean. We have another Machina villager right here that I want to talk to. This one's actually very interesting. If you looked at it from outside, you can see that this place has a giant arm. Okay. Our village is located on the palm of the hand. If we talk to her again, if you look, the Mechonis still has 2 arms. Egil made a replacement when this one was chopped off. Indeed he did. I would like to show on screen right now that if you were paying close attention to the Mechonis in that opening scene, you could have seen that it had 2 arms and the Bionis did indeed chop one of them off. And even though it's got 2 arms now, the new arm is very different looking. You can see the difference there. Just a really small detail, and this place was hinted at this entire time just based on that little detail alone. I found that really cool. And speaking of cool little details, this guy's actually met 2 people named Carlos and Natalia. They fell from the sword a year ago, and now they live here. They're Homs, believe it or not. If you haven't spoken to them yet, you really should. And if we talk to him a second time, thinking about it, there's another Homs living quite near the village. I remember seeing him somewhere around digit 2. He said his name was Theo, if I recall. Alright, so we'll definitely have to keep that in mind. Yeah, there were 2 Homs that fell during the Battle of Sword Valley, and they live here now. Neo-Nick. Again, that's such a cool name. I'm tired of living in this mechanical landscape. I'd really like to go on a trip somewhere. Well, again, I'd suggest Colony 6 to you, but really doesn't sound like a good idea to me personally. I don't know how much people would be accepting of you guys. We have another Machina villager. What do you need? Do you know someone called Aze? He's always roaming around outside the village. He's too nice for his own good. He worries too much about Egil. Alright. Now, we've checked out the main bulk of the village, but we have this ring that just goes around the palm. And we have another Machina here, Orchitix. This is our first instance of a young Machina. We talked to him. I wonder what my mum really thinks about me. I bet she wishes I was never even born. I've been like this for so long now. I think about that stuff sometimes. This seems to be the Machina that has not grown over a very, very long time, even though he should have grown up a long time ago. If we look at him, he is 2,143 years old and still has the body of a child. And if you look closely at him, you can see that in that tank, he looks a lot like a Homs. It's always been my personal theory that when Machina mature, they grow into that glass tank, and that kind of covers their face, which is why they have that very mechanical, reflective-looking face, and they don't look like a Homs anymore. That's just always been my personal theory. There's no teenage Machina that I can take a look at to actually prove that, but I just kind of thought it'd be cool if the pod was actually part of their body and they matured into it. We have another Machina villager. If you're going to Agneritha, head to Digit 2 on the Fallen Arm. Past that is Mechonis Field. Go all the way up there and you'll get to our capital. I think we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves talking about the Mechonis capital right now, of all things. I just want to go further along this rim, and should you look up at the map, there is a way out of the village, but where it should be, there is this blockage. You cannot walk through it, there is no option you can select to try to open it or anything like that, but I definitely want to remember that for later. So as we keep going around, we have some scaffoldings here, and we actually have a really nice view of the village as well as junks right there. A guy called Egil, I saw him once. A long time ago and only very quickly. His face made him look so kind. And he actually looked kind of cool. Hello? Something big and dark fell down with a loud crash. I think it was near Digit 5 Beach. What was it, do you reckon? Sorry if you're not too into talking to like every single NPC. Normally I'm not either, but all of these Machina have really interesting things to say. Not only that, but they're the people of Mechonis. How could I ignore that? Just hearing that alone, when, you know, who even knew there was such a thing? Yeah. Anyway, over here, we have Raxit. We definitely want to see him. I risk my life to save people. I don't know how many I've saved. All I know is it's better to try than to let them slip away. I helped 2 Homs a while ago and did a really good job on them. They are still living here. It's good to see them doing well. We heard that there was also another Homs here named Theo, and seemingly he does not mention Theo at all. He just mentions those 2. So what I want to do now is, I want to wait for it to be nighttime and see, you know, who comes out at night. Upon switching to nighttime, I want to go back up near the entrance to the village where I met up with Dunban and the others. And we have Carlos here. He has a Defense Force uniform, actually. The Machina that rescued me is called Raxit, or so I heard. The guy himself never even told me his name. Crazy, huh? But that's a name I will never forget as long as I live. Aww, it's really cute. I could thank Raxit a million times, but it'll never be enough. He's the reason I'm alive today, and I will never forget that. If you saw when we talked to him the first time, because we had talked to Raxit and Carlos, we gained affinity with a purple icon of sorts. Well, if we open up our affinity chart, we have the area Hidden Village. Yes, this is kind of inclusive of all areas of Mechonis. You saw this icon back up on Sword Valley when I was pointing out the quests, and there are areas outside the village here on the arm where we are able to gain affinity, so I'm just going to refer to this area simply as Mechonis because you have Colony 6 area, Colony 9 area, Central Bionis, Upper Bionis. These are all very inclusive names, and then you just have Hidden Village. I don't know, I find it a little bit weird. But if you want to see the affinity link, we have O's Life. I kind of think that'd be a lot more than just a green face, but then again, I guess there is such thing as Survivor's Guilt. Other than that, though, how about we head back into the main part of the village, because one thing that I did not show on our first run-through is there is a shop here. And if we go into it, dear sweet Bionis from above, it literally is above us right now, but still, these items are expensive. We have 2 weapons for Fiora, and we have all these Machina items. These are basically better anti-Mechon weapons, as you can see here. It has the ability to damage Mechon, as it shows there. Now, the thing is, not only are these items really expensive, but if you are feeling like you can't afford all these things or you don't want to drop all that cash, once again, I would say Melia, it's not overly necessary to get her a new weapon here. It does have 1 slot on it, so maybe if you're using a slotless weapon, you might want to think about it, but I just wouldn't really recommend it because all of Melia's Ether Arts hurt Mechon normally, and really other than that, it's just Spear Break and Starlight Kick that would be helped by this. Other than that, though, if you also want to save money, you don't really need to invest in new equipment for Fiora right away. I'll still be going over it as we go through the shop, but you're not really going to be getting into a lot of fights using Fiora for a little bit coming up. So if you want to save money, you can afford to wait a little while before buying her new stuff. Her current equipment will do fine for a little while. Wow, after only buying 2 weapons, I already need to sell stuff. Oh boy. The Brave series contains some really nice light equipment, and if you don't have them already, you might want to pick these up just because, well, it's really nice light equipment, I already said that. Other than that is the Orion armor series, which, if you're going for a more heavy armor setup on Reyn, you might want to go for that, but I'm personally not going to. By the way, Orion, more like Orion. Under each tab, we have our first bits of Mechonis equipment for Fiora. We have the Speed series, which is all unique and has the gems Aggro down 4, Haste 5, Agility up 4, and another Agility up 4. All really helpful if you want to make Fiora an attacker or if you just want her to be more of an agility tank. The Attack series gives you Arts Heal 4, Attack Stability 4, which means that her auto attacks are more likely to do high damage as opposed to low damage whenever it's rolled. Strength up 4, you know what it does. And another Strength up 4, again, you know what it does. The Power Series will give her Aggro up 4, Damage Heal 4, Good Footing 5, and Topple Resist 4. If you want to make her more of like a Reyn tank, this might be good to do, but personally, I don't really like to do that. If I'm going to make her a tank, I much prefer the Dunban style tank as opposed to the Reyn style. Reyn style, that sounds kind of funny, actually. It's just like, Reyn style! Oh my god, someone's gonna do something with that, aren't they? Anyway, I don't mean to get off topic. The Freya drones are a new type of drone for her. Despite it being foot equipment, it changes the wings that are on her back. I don't know if I ever went over this. So, yeah, I find that really cool that she just has wings and you can customize that as well. Should you switch to these, her talent art will change to a 6-hit combo ether attack as opposed to that one big beam ether attack. So, interesting, but I won't really get a chance to show it off for a while. And then lastly, under art books, I bet you're expecting a lot of stuff for Fiora, right? No! In fact, only 2 of them are for Fiora, Double Blade and Ether Drain. Instead, he just has a bunch of art books that are quite literally for people that are from another planet. I mean, I'm not kidding, we have Riki is Angry here. This book was written specifically for Riki and he has a copy of it. I don't get it, but you know what? I'll take it. Burninate might be helpful. That is good against Mechon, of course. If you want to make Riki more of a tank and draw aggro, that can be useful. Headshot, of course, good for Sharla. Riki is Angry. I'm not really sure I'll go for that. I actually bought a Summon Earth book off screen. I meant to show that, though. Sorry about that. And then, Cure Round. You know what? I think actually, no, I'm not going to go for that. I think I want to teach those right now, though, just because we have a lot of unspent AP. While I'm teaching these 3 right now, I think I'm going to save how I distributed my AP for the end slate of this video, just because we've been in the menus for a little while now, and I think I just kind of want to get to my equipment changes. Well, actually, no. There is one thing I want to bring up about arts. You probably want to level up your Monado shield to level 7 sometime in the near future. I'm going to do it now just so I don't forget. Now for the equipment. Here's how everyone's looking. Melia is completely unchanged because her equipment is just that awesome. Then again, she's just that awesome in general. She doesn't even need new stuff. Sharla's equipment looks slightly less ridiculous than what she had on before. I decided to give her a slow 3 on her Machina rifle, which, by the way, look at that rifle. That is so cool looking. Like, let's actually get a closer look. Yeah, that thing is awesome. Seriously, like, she gets, like, the coolest looking weapon of the bunch. Well, not quite. Let's see what else the others got. Reyn still looks ridiculous as usual. Not much about him has changed. He has a brave cap and a Machina garter. Remember how I said that Sharla almost has the coolest weapon? Well, look at Dunban's Machina sword that he's got now. Doesn't look like anything special, right? Wrong! Just look at that! Dunban has a lightsaber! As if he was not cool enough already, he now wields a freaking lightsaber! Dunban, slow down! How are we ever going to get to be as cool as you at this rate? Seriously. Fiora I did not change at all because, like I said, you can wait a little while before investing in new equipment for her. Riki, I like the look of his Machina biter, just all these Mechon parts assembled into a biter form. It looks really cool. I fit him to be a bit more of a tank, and Shulk, I just gave him a brave cap. Not really anything different there. Well, that is different, but you know what I mean. That's all I wanted to do here at the shop. You can get some really interesting equipment there. And, that's pretty much it. Well, not quite, actually. You can see that Natalia is here, and she's wearing a bikini top. I guess there really aren't a lot of Hom's clothing here, but yeah, I don't really feel the need to talk to her. She has a quest for us, but I did kind of want to point out that the other Homs that we heard about being in the village is indeed here. Theo, on the other hand, though, that we heard about, they said that he lives nearby, but he's not here explicitly. But I think we are all ready to, well, go in the door. No, we cannot. We must listen to Linata first. Let's talk to her. You're back. Have you finished looking around the village? Then I'll answer your questions. Where should I start? Let's listen to her.
So, are you Mechon?
In one sense we are, and in another we are not. It is a fact that the weapons you call the Mechon were created by our civilization. However, we were born from the Mechonis. By your understanding, it would be correct to say that we are the same as Mechon.
A form of mechanical life born of the Mechonis. Is that correct?
From our perspective, you are forms of organic life born of the Bionis.
Life born of the Mechonis. So there is life here, just like on Bionis.
Explain to us why you invaded our world. What did we ever do to you?
I understand your feelings, but please, There is much yet to tell you.
Dunban, please hear her out.
But...
These Machina, they're good people.
Fiora?
You do not look fully functional.
Ever since she was given this body, she hasn't been feeling too good. But we honestly don't know what to do.
Do you mean to tell me you are not Machina? Why didn't you tell me sooner?
I'm okay. Really.
Nonsense. I am a doctor. Do not worry. I specialize in people in your... situation. Just as I thought. You were transformed into a face unit. You are experiencing a functional breakdown in multiple locations. I will take her to my laboratory. The Chief will answer your questions. He is waiting for you in Junks.
For us?
We will speak later.
Shulk, I'm...
Fiora.
Don't worry. I'll keep an eye on her.
Thanks.
Just when we get her back, Fiora has left the party once again. And we're also minus our medic as well. Now, I have to say, as we step into Junks, I like the designs of the Machina a lot. Just, Fiora says that they're good people, and yet they really could pass for villains. And I like how they did not take the easy way out in making you sympathize with them. You know, they didn't just make them look like Homs or make them look, you know, like really innocent or anything like that. They actually do have like blades and things like that on their bodies. They have like sharp fingers and things like that. They do have a lot of design traits that a villain would have, and I really like that. I can really appreciate that because they didn't take the easy way out with making them look nice or anything like that. We can actually talk to Linata right here. Need more time to observe her condition. Leave her with me. You can go and see the Chief. He's waiting for you on the bridge on the lower deck. We talk to her again, and... what is it? I'll take good care of her. Go and see the Chief. He's waiting for you on the bridge on the lower deck. We have a heart-to-heart right here. Should we try to check it? Cannot view it. Fiora Dunban with maximum affinity. Yeah, even though they have some affinity to start off with, it's gonna be a while before that's the case. We can talk to Sharla, one of the few times we can talk to the party members. I understand how you feel, but don't worry. I'll take good care of her. We talked to her a second time, and just like Linata, she kept hold of her thoughts and personality, even in that body. She must be such a strong girl. Well, rather unlike Linata, she doesn't get impatient with us. And, if you check Fiora with anyone other than Shulk, they'll just be like, hey, we need to go see the Chief. But, need to line this up correctly, should you actually try to check her as Shulk, and only Shulk, Fiora, I thought I'd never see you again. You're gonna get better, aren't you? Hang in there, Fiora. I'll be back soon. That is so sweet in contrast to everything we've heard around the village. And Dunban, what are you doing down here? I thought you'd want to go upstairs and see how your sister is doing, but I guess he couldn't really bear to see her on the stretcher. Anyway, I think we've annoyed Linata in her laboratory enough for one day. Let's just do what she says and go see the Chief.
Huh. He's massive.
I get a kick out of seeing people's faces every time.
We were told that you were waiting for us.
That's right. I've been waiting a long time. Waiting for you to accept my request.
Request?
But first, let me ask. The sword the young man is holding, is that the Monado?
It is.
And the destruction of the fortress on the sword, was that your lot's doing?
Yes, although unfortunately we were unable to stop Egil.
Egil?
Do you know him? He claims to be the leader of Mechonis.
This Egil that you fought is one of our people. He's my son.
Your son?
Actually, my request is about him as well.
Ah.
I want you to kill Egil.